country. It's going down. Listen, y'all, we back. This is the most exciting time of the year. I'm going to tell you why I'm so excited. College basketball has started. We got our Duke Blue Devils, who I was so blessed to go see in person as we put some belt on Kansas a couple weeks ago. We got that going. We got the NBA starting up. Not super exciting right now, but it'll get hot here in a minute. And we got the NFL in full swing, and college football is championship weekend. We got the conference championships going down this weekend in college football. I'm excited. Dub knows how excited I get about college football. This is like my favorite time of the year. But we got some huge matchups. In the SEC, we got the Georgia Bulldogs heading right down the road to Atlanta to take on Alabama. I feel like we see this game so much over the past couple of years. Georgia taking on Alabama, number 3 versus number 9. We got Duke and Virginia in the ACC championship. Not too excited. Duke snuck into the ACC championship. I think they're going to get dog walked by Virginia. Is going to be a high-scoring game. Indiana versus Ohio State, number 1 versus number 2 in the Big Ten championship. And then in the Big 12 championship, we got that Brigham Young University. Well, what's BYU's mascot? The Cougars. We got the BYU Cougars taking on the Texas Tech Raiders. Then we got North Texas and Tulane, and that's a big matchup as well. But out of those games, Dub, tell me which one you're most excited about and which one you see the upset going down in.
Man, I think that Ohio State and Indiana game is going to be pretty good. 1 and 2 versus each other. In Indianapolis, so that's in Indiana's home turf. So a lot of familiarity with the stadium. Ohio State has played pretty much flawless football all season. Like they're going to probably repeat this season. I just think they're just the most well-rounded team right now in college football. But that should be a good game. But honorable mention, man, Jackson State versus Prairie View A&M. Jackson State is 9-2. They're 9-2.
Okay.
So shout out to Jackson State, still remaining competitive, still, doing great things in the SWAC. And so I think there'll be a nice game to also watch as well this weekend on ESPN2 at 2 p.m.
For sure. So you got Indiana, Ohio State as your game you're most excited about. Which lower seed team do you think has the best chance of pulling out the upset?
I'm looking now.
If you got to pick one.
I mean, I would say BYU.
Yeah, for sure, BYU. Man.
Yeah, I don't see Alabama beating Georgia. I don't. Duke is not even freaking ranked. I don't know how they got over. Miami should be playing Virginia. I don't know how that happened. Please explain it to me, T. Whenever you get it, whenever you talk next. But that's weird. Yeah, I don't see Indiana beating Ohio State.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Just the matchups. For one, with Georgia, you mentioned not seeing Alabama beating Georgia. Alabama has already beat Georgia this season, so that might present a challenge because it's hard to beat a team twice, but when a team has already done it, they come in a little more confident. You got a little more gravitas, a little more swag when it comes down to it. And there's a lot of talk around the Alabama program. Earlier in the season, I know I was talking crap. I'm like, hey, I don't know if Kalen DeBoer is the guy, So I was running my mouth a little bit. Hey, he's held it down. Ty Simpson has played pretty well. Could be potentially a Heisman finalist. He's kind of spurred out a little bit here at the end of the season, but that's going to be a huge matchup. I gotta agree with you though. The matchup I'm thinking where there could be the upset is BYU and Texas Tech. Now Texas Tech applied belt to BYU just a few short weeks ago, blew them out. Was not a close game at all. Trust me, I know. I went with BYU on it against my better judgment. Lost some bread there, but I think BYU has just a fight that I've seen and watching them play this season, and I think they're going to be very resilient. And they're looking to try to seal a place in the college football playoff if they can. I think if BYU loses, they won't get in. So it's win and in for BYU. Texas Tech, I think, could lose this Big 12 championship and possibly still make the tournament. So I think BYU pulls the upset. Um, I also think Indiana pull off the upset against Ohio State. Ohio State is one of the better teams, but again, looking at it, just the numbers, I think it's going to come down to who has a bigger game between Jeremiah Smith and Elijah Surratt. Now, Jeremiah Smith, we know what he can do: 72 receptions, 942 yards, 11 touchdowns. Elijah Surratt on the other side for Indiana came over to Indiana from James Madison with Kurt Signetti. 48 catches, not nearly as many catches, 650 yards, 11 touchdowns as well. So these guys are matched up, same amount of touchdowns. Jeremiah's 13.1 yards a catch, Elijah's 13.5 yards a catch. So whose receiver is going to have a more dominant performance on this big stage? Weather won't be a factor because they're playing indoors at Indianapolis. That game is going to be exciting, and I think it'll be high scoring because, again, we've seen a lot of these Big Ten games that are low scoring because Ohio State's playing outdoors at Michigan. Indiana's playing outdoors at Purdue. They're playing in the snow. So you take these teams back indoors here at the end of the season after playing in this cold, weather, these tumultuous conditions. And I think both of these teams are going to really run that score up. So if I just go through my picks, I got Indiana beating Ohio State. I've got Georgia getting some get back, beating Alabama, and I got BYU pulling off the upset against Texas Tech. And then North Texas and Tulane, winner gets into the college football playoff. I'm going to have to go with North Texas. I like Tulane. Interestingly enough, the quarterback, Retzkoff at Tulane, was at BYU last year. So I watched a lot of Retzkoff when he was at BYU. Got kicked out of BYU for, BYU you can't be, having you too much fun when it comes to the ladies. So I hear that's why he got kicked out of BYU, or he was going to have a suspension or whatever. So now he's at Tulane. I'm going to go with North Texas. I watched North Texas whoop up on our Charlotte 49ers, drop buku points on us. I think this game could be a game that goes into the 70s in terms of total score between North Texas and Tulane. So I'm going to go with North Texas there. But I like, man, I like the Brigham Young Cougars, man. They got this quarterback that wear like 49 or some crazy number. Don't quote me on that. 47. Number 47 is what number their quarterback wears, bro.
Nasty.
It's so
nasty.
Unorthodox, bro. And I mean, he's running for 60, 70 yards in a game, just slinging it's real Tebow-esque, right? Like it's so ugly that it's great football to watch, man. So I want to see BYU and what they'll do in the tournament. So I need them to win so they get to the college football playoff. And we talking a little bit about the championship matchups. You said you want to know how Duke got in. So the crazy thing, bro, and I'm gonna have to pull up my facts to break this down. But basically, SMU lost at Cal. SMU would have been in the championship. They went to Cal. They get upset on the road last week, and it knocks them out of the championship. And there's like a four-way tie at the top of the ACC. So then it goes down to like head-to-head matchups. And because SMU lost, because it's the four-way tie, then by way of that, Duke gets into the championship. Now, again, I talked about how Retzkoff was at BYU. Now he's at Tulane. He's playing for a conference championship. The quarterback at Duke was at Tulane, did his thing at Tulane. Tulane had a great season last year, almost upset Oklahoma, and now he's playing at Duke and playing in the ACC championship. So we see a lot of these quarterbacks, a quarterback carousel. These guys left their school, still playing in conference championships. It's really dope to see. Darian Mensah is his name, by the way, number 10 for Duke. But yeah, man, that's how they got in.